if I am the attacking Noctis, and I think, oh, I'm -9, I can never ever do anything ever. Say, for example, that's my belief. I'm always going to eat a mix, no matter what. Pacific would see me do this on block, and notice that I would do nothing. So what would he do? He would just hell sweep me. Or do that. Every time. Because he knew I would just stand there. I was blind to the option that he was picking something slow.
Yeah.
And as soon as I was opened up to that, it changed the game. Because now he can't hell sweep if I press. On a surface level, -9 means you're in a defensive position. But if your opponent is abusing that and taking more than they deserve, you need to keep that in check as well. That is a perfect way to say it. Check this shit out. AccuMajor does a running 3, and I'm like, this fucker's gonna pick something really slow. So I'm gonna up forward 3 him even though I'm minus whatever I am. I just didn't even care. So like that, and that is what won me that. So it's like, it's a two-way check. It's exactly what Bilal said. I love that. I had no business pressing here. No business pressing. You were talking about navigating -6, right?
Yeah. I think it would help me understand, I guess, if you go over Noctis forward 1+2 on block situation.
1+2 is -9, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
But,
I think I can still apply the same concept.
I don't think so, because you lose the ability to sidestep at -9.
Right.
So, it's similar. Okay, so in general, the way I would say look at it is if you're minus, on paper you do nothing. In practice, it depends on what your opponent does. So, situation 1 is you go -6, and your opponent checks you using their frame advantage, right?
Yes.
This is completely generic, and it always wins.
Yeah.
They do something guaranteed to hit you if you swing. That's option 1. Right?
Hmm?
So, yeah, level 1, you go minus, they check you, you get hit. So, level 2 is you go minus, you respect your minus and just block. Now, when they go for something, they don't get any reward. So that sucks. How do I beat that? He's just blocking. So the answer to that, level 3 beating level 2, is opponent just blocks, I mix them up. Wow, I can't even reach that. I go for a mix. Because he's just blocking, I can't just do my check, so I have to go for a mix. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then level 4 is how you respond to the mix. So you were originally doing -6 into block. There might be an answer that just straight up beats the mix. Especially at -6. Magic 4.
Because in my head, it's like it's a mix, so I had to just guess.
That's one part. Okay, level 1 is you just swing anyways, like you don't care. Level 2 is the Noctis checks you because he's like, I have frame advantage, I deserve to move here.
Yeah.
Right? Level 3 is you just block.
Yeah.
That beats level 2, which is check. Now he's like, well, dang, I'm not getting anything. So level 4 is designed to beat level 3, which is mix.
Yeah.
And then that takes us back to level 1, which is where you just press because you don't care. Right?
Yeah.
And then it just goes around. So the next time you're just pressing because you don't care, Noctis is like, dang, I can't go for a mix. I have to keep him honest with the real frame value. I have to check him. And then once he starts checking you, you just block.
Okay. I guess I'm not used to seeing the full circle, and I'm always like partially, and then people just do the same thing.
Yeah, because if you don't rotate with you, they just keep picking the same one and it'll keep beating you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cover this in my next video, so here's a spoiler. But look at this. This is a great example. This is with -9. And you do this subconsciously. It's just important, like when you're assessing options, to do this on purpose. So Noctis goes -9, and you can restart the level anywhere. So like, let's say level 1, Noctis is -9, and he knows he can't do anything, so he just blocks. Right?
Yeah.
Noctis just blocks. That will ensure that he's safe to any checks. He cannot be punished. That's level 1. Level 2, the opponent is like, dang, he's -9 and he's just blocking. So how do I get through to him? I mix him up. Right?
Right.
So Noctis, being aware of that now, the attacking Noctis, says, okay, I need a level 3 that beats level 2. So if I know he's going low, for example, predicting that part of the mix, he just does this into low parry. Right?
Yeah.
So level 1 was he just blocks, which beats any check. Level 2 is mix, because he's just blocking.
Yeah.
Level 3 is he takes a proactive choice to beat the mix. So the opponent's level 4 is some option that beats that proactive option, right? So in this case, it can just be a check, because it happens to be a committal low parry. So my mid check is fine. And then Bilal says there are options that are half paper, half scissors. That's exactly true. So covering multiple options is something that Tekken has. Like, depending on the option they pick, your answer can cover multiple options. So you can play like multiple mind games, which is part of the cool part and the complexity. But what we were talking about in your case is recognizing that it is circular so that you don't cut yourself off from options and then not being able to answer something when it comes up. Because if you think that if I am the attacking Noctis and I think, oh, I'm -9, I can never ever do anything ever. Right? Say, for example, that's my belief. And I can never do anything ever. I'm always going to eat a mix, no matter what. Or here's a great example. I actually had this issue for a while. This is a great example. I'm glad I remember this. So, when I played Pacific for a long time, Pacific Psychosia player.
I know where you're going with this,
yeah, exactly. I think you know where it's going too. So, Pacific would see me do this on block and notice that I would do nothing. So what would he do? He would just hell sweep me. Or do that. Every time. Because he knew I would just stand there. I refused to accept the option, or I was blind to the option, that he was picking something slow.
Yeah.
And as soon as I was opened up to that, it changed the game, because now he can't hell sweep if I press. How do you hell sweep on pad? Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The electric's fast enough. But hell sweep is slow, so... like, it takes time.
A lot of people.
Yeah, 16, so it's like 20. So -9. Yeah, exactly. So this is an example of if Noctis never knew he could press because he treated himself as -9 as being permanently bad, he will always die to this mix. He might get lucky and block it once in a while, but it's an incomplete mind game, right?
Right. I think you got 100 level viewers just now.
Okay. Oh shit! Thanks,
Yeah.
Athena. Thank you for that. I did not see that.
You out.
No worries.
Sure.
Athena, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. Welcome everybody. I am doing some coaching, so I had notifications off, but I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks, Corey. But yeah, so what we were talking about is coming up with solutions to mind games or situations that are ambiguous. Like -6 is like an ambiguous frame disadvantage to be at.
Yeah.
But cutting off your choices of answers because they could be unsafe is how you will always lose a mind game for sure. So a good example is like, this is his answer, but what if I just discounted it because there's 2 reasons I could discount this. Oh, I'm -9. I have no business pressing. I'll die to down forward 2. Right?
Right.
That is a reason I might say to myself, I should never press after this.
On paper. But
And then I will always lose, me thinking that, oh, paper always loses to scissors, so I can't pick paper. Now I will just always lose. Now as a scissors player, I will always lose to rock. And it's once I realize that, hey, if I pick the right option, I can beat rock. if I leave paper on the table, I can beat him. And that forces him to adjust, which in this case is doing this.
Yeah, tempo's back.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, does that make sense?
Yes, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
so it's you can't... Things are scary in this game. I'm gonna guess wrong, and that's fine. Joe Crush was talking about this. I need to put our interview up on YouTube, but Joe Crush was talking about, like, yeah, eating a debugger sucks because the commentators are like, debug! And you're like, oh my god, I got hit. But that's how it is.
Right.
Anyways, let me answer Jumanji's questions. I didn't know if he had this level of Yomi. I don't. I looked up an article and I read about it. I still suck at this. Would rock be the risky, rewarding option?
Okay, do you have the article? Send it to me.
I'll have to Google it again. I'll find it. But so yeah, like your default behavior is okay to block when you're -9. It's having the flexibility to expand beyond that based on what your opponent's doing, and what it takes is seeing someone else do it. Like it's hard to come up with that on your own because you're like, oh, -9, I have to block. But then you watch like Knee or something. Or here's a great example.
Yeah, I'm a mash. I remember that video.
Yeah, he's like a tactical match. Here's a great example. Here's a fantastic example, and it's using me, so I feel good showing this. All right, let me pull this up on Season 1, Week 3. You always block at -9. Your opponents will use this move slowest on you. Remember, it's a two-way check. Bilal, that is perfect. I like the way of saying that. It's on a surface level, -9 means you're in a defensive position. If your opponent is abusing that and taking more than they deserve, you need to keep that in check as well. That is a perfect way to say it. Yes. A two-way check is a great way to put it. -9, your opponent needs to check you, make sure you're not pressing because you don't deserve to. Then you need to check your opponent, make sure they're not taking more frames than they deserve. I second-guess myself in these situations. Thanks for discussing this. I love talking about this shit, and I fucking suck at it, so it's hilarious. If I'm always going to back 1+2...
For me, it's hard to identify.
Yeah, exactly.
When? Because then I'm also thinking, or I guess overthinking, which is another part of my problem.
Yeah, and
I
hell overthink too.
Because like I'm thinking, oh, will he do it again? Because I don't want to make the wrong read.
Yeah, nobody wants to make the wrong read because that feels bad, but that's part of the game, and accepting that is okay. Like Knee is not going into a tournament saying I'm never gonna get hit by a hell sweep. He's going to go in and say, I might eat enough hell sweeps, and then I'll know where you're going to hell sweep, and then I'll win. It's like, what is it? Pennywise, pound foolish, right? Like, if you're obsessing over each tiny hell sweep, and you lose the game, is it worth it?
Right.
Check this shit out. AccuMajor does a running 3, and I'm like, this fucker's going to pick something really slow. So I'm going to up forward 3 him, even though I'm minus whatever I am. I just didn't even care. So like that, and that is what won me that. So it's like, it's a two-way check. It's exactly what Bilal said. I love that. I had no business pressing here. No business pressing.
Which one? After the wall running 3? You did up forward 1?
Yeah, I did wall running 3 because he caught me stepping. Basically, he caught me trying to do something passive. And I think he got too comfortable. And part of Brian's shit too is he has such slow startups.
He has to do slow. Yeah, I understand it more with Brian.
Right. The thing is, it's general. What somebody can do is always beat you because every move has an answer. And at the same time, what you can do is always beat somebody because you always have an answer. Only exception is if like they're fucking Akuma and down 1-2, right? But so when we're learning the game for the first time, we learn -9 is you stop pressing because you're not safe. But without re-examining that, you never move beyond that level. Everything is always subject to re-examination.